All right. Good morning, powerhouses out there. Good morning, VAs around the world, to all our viewers and listeners. Happy weekend, advance. Happy weekend to others, and of course for others as well. Same thing, it's pretty much the same time. And good morning, good morning. My name is Jack, and I am what they call this one of your hosts for today for our amazing podcast. And of course, we have here Jade, who is also my teammate in Phyllis Song, also one of the amazing individuals that I know. And what they call this, Jade, what do you think do we have in store for our viewers today? I get to see like a big banner there, but are we gonna be like selling bread or something? What's it gonna be about?
Okay, so first of all, guys, yeah, good morning and welcome to our live stream. And yeah, we are your host today, and actually, we will be talking about um being a breadwinner. Our like an experience as a breadwinner, the provider for our family as a VA. So that's our main topic for today, right? So, how do you think about it, Jack? Exciting?
Oh yeah, yeah. This is like when I saw this, I was like thinking about what they call this, the cafe that I visited last time, right, where I bumped into Catriona Gray. But I think it's a different kind of bread set or a bakery per se, but nonetheless a very profound one at that, right? And speaking of breadwinner, right, for all our viewers there, right, for all the listeners, like who among you guys are like breadwinners, right? Or like what Jade said, the ones say providing, maybe, right, providing pretty much to everybody, trying to support everybody, right? And this could be like in different forms. It doesn't matter if you're like the oldest or the youngest or anything like that, but you are the one supporting and providing for your family, and that alone is a very profound thing already, and we can talk about hours and hours regarding that one. But of course, we're going to be like how to put it, sharing experiences like what you said, maybe stories that we know, and definitely a lot of like how to put it, like a lot of powerful ones out there. I just feel aside from the quote unquote summer heat right out there, I feel the warmth already, of this topic, but in a good way, right? Because it's very, very profound indeed. And actually, right, with one of our what do you call this, I think with one of the how to call it, like a banner. I don't think it's a banner, it's a photo, but
Yeah.
like a video template, right, that we got to share out there. It was
Mm-hmm.
showing what do you call this, an individual, right, a previous contestant of a famous local television show. And what was that, it's like a Pinoy Big Brother or something.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. I pretty much don't get to watch stuff like that. Haven't watched television for a long time because we got the internet. So, but nonetheless, okay, getting to see some of these things every now and then. But regarding that, I got to see like a very short clip, actually, like I don't know, like maybe 3 seconds or 5 seconds of it, and seemingly the individual was like talking about how being a breadwinner for him is like a tough thing, right? It was like a tough
Mm-hmm.
thing for him because, yeah, to the say maximum essence of being a breadwinner is that I'm like the one say quote unquote leading and ultimately trying to provide for you guys. But it kind of surprised me that he was like really sad, and I think beyond sad, right? He was like expressing in a way that he was like distraught, like
Mm-hmm.
how about you, Jade?
Yeah.
When it comes to that individual, are you like more familiar with the Pinoy Big Brother? Are you like a fan of it or something? Yeah.
Um,
What can you say about it?
Actually, I cannot say that I'm a fan, but of course, our topic for today's was inspired from Esnir, a PBB contestant. I think most of us here are familiar with PBB currently. So, um, as you can see, if you see our teaser video, which is Esnir, it shows how difficult or um gaano kabigat yung pagiging breadwinner of the family, right? So, and what inspired us is a lot of us BAs is actually a breadwinner, right? Um, we are the sole provider for our family, and also we don't want to be separated from our family, so we decided to work as a VAs, right? So most of us are like that, and I believe that a lot of BAs are also breadwinner at the same time, right? So I think we have a lot to talk about this topic, right? In that a lot of BAs can relate about it. So yeah, what do you think, Jack?
Yeah, definitely. Just the part there that you mentioned, it was like an aha moment for me
Mm-hmm.
actually. And what you call this a good morning there, to our viewers.
Yeah.
Shout out
Good
to
morning,
Mariachi
guys.
from Boracay, from Kenj there. Hello, Kenj, and also for Blessy as well, right? Peace shout out. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, when you got to mention there, Jade, what they call this, uh, a lot of breadwinners basically want to say give pretty much everything to their families, and a lot of VAs could be like that. And the aha moment for me was the idea of like most VAs or like people that are doing say remote work, right? In general, could
Mm-hmm.
be wanting to have more time for family, or rather like most would want to have more time with their family. And that's like yeah, like an aha moment for me, like yeah, indeed, right? When you ask the why would they want to have more time for their family, aside from say getting to earn handsomely, right, as a VA versus typical jobs outside, it does ring a bell, and there's like a lot of avenues out there that we can dive into. But once again, for our viewers and listeners out there, how about for you guys, right? What's your take when it comes to what they call this? When it comes to the word breadwinner, or beyond the word, right? Like maybe
Mm-hmm.
you are a breadwinner yourself, or maybe a buddy of yours, a friend of yours, they have been breadwinners for like who knows, like ever since they graduated from college, right? Like what is the impact for you guys, when it comes to that word? Because yeah, like what you mentioned a while ago, Jade, right? We got to see
Mm-hmm.
the individual from the famous show PBB, right? Peanut butter and something, right? He was like really, you can see with him that he was carrying
Mm-hmm.
the how to put it, like that burden, right? That burden of
Mm-hmm.
responsibility and accountability. And that is also something that pretty much all of us here, may it be that you are a VA or you are not a VA, or whatever your setup is in life currently, that as we grow up, right, we come to a point that we are say having more accountabilities and responsibilities as say adults, right? They're transitioning from a student to young adults, and ultimately as adults ourselves, right? And when it comes to that, basically is that now yeah, like there's just really so much, right? There's really so much um breadwinners. I came across a lot of people like that, and it's like one similar thing that I could say what they call this about that is that if somebody would be labeled as, or would actually imbibe, right, that term, that I am a breadwinner, it means that I am supporting my family, and not simply like supporting that I'm here when you message me or something, but I'm supporting your needs, right? May it be what they call this, may it be something not material per se for you as the individual you are, but I think it's very prominent, especially when it's in the Philippines, that I am supporting your needs all the way to literally everything that you need financially. What do you guys think about that? Does that like hit a bullseye there, right? Like I'm there for you and all that I can be for you, and all the way like financially as well, right? And that could mean a lot of things on that part, right? And what they call is Kench there, and Rachel, good morning, right? And Kench getting to say there, sometimes no one asks them to be one, but they still do it. Yeah, this is like
Yeah.
that's why it's very profound for me, because this
Mm-hmm.
is a great example of say self-sacrifice, right? Like nobody tell me to do it. Nobody, like ask me to sign up for this, but I will have the heart per se to dive into it to be able to lift you guys up, right? All of you, right? These dear people in my life. So yeah, how about you, Jade? What do you think,
Yeah.
about those kind of setups, those kind of things, that kind of support as a whole,
Mm-hmm.
right? Being that breadwinner per se.
Yeah, actually, when I'm thinking about this topic, yeah, I've come to think that most of us and most of the breadwinners, a lot of breadwinners actually um, sacrifice themselves, right? So as to provide for their family, for their loved ones. But um, I think I'm not gonna say that it is an an issue, but most
Mm.
of the breadwinners encounter something that um for their despite providing, despite sacrificing a lot of things, sometimes their loved ones, for their loved ones is still not enough. Y- or it is something that what do you call this, there's a lot of things that they will still say to you, or like that,
Mm.
something that they will say that you are not giving us enough, or something that like what you're doing is not enough, right? The sense of your efforts are not being appreciated, right? A lot of breadwinners actually experience that or encounters that, right, Jack? And as for us as BAs, of course we want to spend more time with our family. We sacrifice a lot of things. We are burdened with a lot of things, but at the same time, there will come times that all of our efforts might not be appreciated. So, yeah, I think that's one thing that I think about this topic. Um, what are your take about that, guys? What for me, my question for you guys, I think you experienced this, right? So what do you think, or what you do in this situation where your efforts or your sacrifice are not appreciated? Are you still willing to continue to do this, to sacrifice yourself, or do something otherwise? What do you guys think? As a breadwinner, right? I I think and I believe you experienced that, or at least encounter something like that. Or if it's not us, I think we know someone, either a friend, a family, or someone that is close to us that experience the same thing, right? So what do you guys think? What do you guys think about that, right? How
That's
about
like
you, Joe?
that's like very profound. I can't keep on. I have to put it. I can't. It feels like really an understatement to say like this is very profound, And
Yeah.
with the things that you were mentioning there, I was like having a lot of realizations, and also our viewers here, right? They're getting to share like what they call this, a lot of stuff as well, from their side regarding experiences as a breadwinner, or like stories that they hear as well regarding that one, right? Like what they call this, racial here getting to share what they call this. It seems like it is say inculcated in the minds of the child, or children, to be responsible for their family, even if it is not their duty to do so. And
Yeah.
Ryan as well, good morning, Ryan.
Good
Right, Ryan
morning.
getting to share here, what is this, sumbat? Oh yeah, yeah, that term, right? Sumbat,
Yeah.
yes. There is no appreciation sometimes from the loved ones. And also Nellen here. Good morning, Nellen.
Good morning,
Um,
Nelin. We have
being
Basher
a
from Nelin.
breadwinner in Filipino culture is deeply rooted in strong
Yeah.
family ties and societal expectations. And that word there, the expectations part, was like pretty much, how to put it, like one of the core things per se, right?
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to like how to put it, like appreciating and reciprocating things, right? Where it becomes like how to put it, a fine line, right? When it comes to stuff. And also there, what they call this, the others getting to share canch depends on your conscience and experience, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
earlier you got to touch on what they call this, if you were in such a situation, right? That you are, being a breadwinner in one form or another, because definitely it's not going to be like a general template, like a one size fits all of a shoe, but rather one way or another you're going to be able to support people, dear ones in your life, and what they call this, and as to how you do it, and depending on say circumstances maybe, or the experience itself, like what Kench is saying here, is that it might really, right, like say empower you, or say maybe discourage you to keep on moving forward, right?
Yeah.
And that is like one thing, one thing of itself, of its own, to like, I am carrying this being a bread winner, right? Also there, we got say from Ryan once again, right? First and foremost, I am doing what I do because that's what I know is right to do, not because I want to impress the people who are ungrateful. And also Rachel there, mentioning it is difficult to say what they call this no, especially when it comes to family, but there will come a time that we need to think for ourselves as well, but we need to learn to know when enough is enough, right? So now it's
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, the fine line of things are showing there. And this brings us, like, to how to put it, it brings us to our part here wherein it clearly shows that there must be, say, challenges, right? There are challenges definitely of being a breadwinner, because it's not smooth sailing. It's not like a templated kind of thing. It's not like a simple start stop kind of activity, and it's not simply like oh, this is like a 72-hour thing, kind of responsibility. But it could be like, who knows, maybe some of you guys. And by the way, shout out, and cheers to all of you guys there, providing and supporting, for the dear ones in your life, right? Your loved ones may be like they are blood related, and maybe some of you guys are supporting even like, your friends or your buddies, right? That are like, like your brother or your sister from another mother kind of setup, right? Because this is like self-sacrifice. And this reminded me of actually how to put it, right? uh, that is like one of the greatest sacrifices one can give, right? Like literally giving your life's essence to them, right? And part of that would be, say, your time, your energy, your entirety as a whole, because ain't no rewind in life, right? And to do so is a very noble thing, right? But now comes, of course, all of us here, for all our how to put it, for all of you guys out there, right? May it be that you're a VA or you're not a VA, is that we experience challenges as human beings. And in this particular, what they call this topic that we have today, is that what are some of the challenges that you guys personally experience? I know some of you guys got to share a while ago, right? In our, what they call this, we get to see here in our chat, a lot of people are messaging here. We get to see like some are mentioning like they're not being appreciated, right? Or beyond not being appreciated or commended, basically, in what they get to do, is basically it's not reciprocated as well, right? Not
Mm-hmm.
returned per se, right? And ultimately that there are like other things tied up to it, like it becomes like an expectation, right? Like something that you must do of a task, right? All of these things mixed up per se, right? How about for you, Jade? When it comes to these challenges and this myriad of things that can happen in between, from being like, I'm just doing my thing, I'm living my life, or
Mm-hmm.
ultimately like what they call this, I'm giving most of my life's essence to the dear people around me, right? What are your thoughts about that? The challenges that one might encounter there, or maybe some stories you have heard, right, from your friends, from your buddies, right, that are being like breadwinners in the life.
Yeah. Actually, I'll go back to our viewers here. I like what Ryan said. Again, um wait, it's gone. Sorry. So yeah.
My comment.
Um
I love it.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, the what she said is, first and foremost, I am doing what I do because that's what I know right to do, not because I want to impress those people who are ungrateful. Actually, I love what Ryan said because I agree with her, right? Because they are our family, right? If we are the breadwinner, um no matter what happened, they're our family. So we have the kind of responsibility to provide for them, to help them, but again is to maintain the boundary, because based I know someone that is actually um the sole breadwinner of their family. Imagine like the family
Mm.
uh um what do you call this, entrust all of their hope to that
Mm.
one person, so that their family will what do you call this, will be makakaalis sa hirap, kumbaga, 'di ba? I know someone like that, a close friend of mine, and the burden, the weight of the responsibilities as he's carrying is actually very heavy, and almost I think 90% of his choices in life is actually always he will always consider his family. Imagine that. So um all his life he will be providing for his family, and then a lot of his decision will come from that, right? So um what I bil what I noticed that what I noticed from him when he made a big change is that he learned how to create boundaries, right? Because of course we can provide to our family, but not forever. I think, guys, for me, as my for my experience, actually over providing to our family as our breadwinner is actually will actually backfire. you you know that, I think you know that, guys. Over providing to them, they will be over reliant to you, to everything you have, and not because that you are madamot or you are selfish, but they have their own life. If they will over rely on you, what will happen once you're gone, right? Not gone like negative gun, bad, like there's not that gun,
What if you
but
can't provide
if
anymore?
yeah, if you can provide anymore, you lose your job, you lose your work, who will provide for the whole family, right? So it will backfire. Um the it will backfire, the day that it will backfire will come, right? So we have to always build boundaries, or we have to know our limits, because it is not us being selfish, but it is actually for them, right? It is for their own good also, not just for us. So yeah, and another thing is that, yeah, as I've read here, it's deeply rooted from our Filipino culture, right? The Of course, the extended
Mm.
families and the likes, where
A
the family
cultural
will
thing.
rely, yeah, or a
Well, pretty
cultural
much
thing, right?
on the West, it's gonna be like, hey, you are of legal age.
It's
Get
completely
out of here.
different.
But
Legal,
yes,
like legal agent, they don't know each other anymore, or something like that, right?
Filipino
But
culture
yeah,
very warm in a
very
way, but
yeah,
this
mhm,
extends to something like this.
yeah. Actually, it comes with kind of double edge, something
Oh,
that of course the treatment with our family is actually warm, we are united and everything, but at the same time there are some toxic relationships, something like that. But yeah, if we learn to build boundaries, and we learn to know our limits, I think we will do great, and we will not be burdened with the responsibilities too much. Of course, it's not saying that we will just lose all our responsibilities from that. No, it's not something like that. Just we just have to learn how to build our boundaries, right? So, what do you think, Jack?
yeah. So pretty much it's like, all in all, the more I think about it, is that the challenges really stem from how to put it. Pretty much the breadwinner is taking on, say, all the brunt of things, right? All the brunt of things, which includes, say, the responsibilities and the accountabilities that they would have, and pretty much everything that it branches out to. Breadwinner, you gotta carry that basket yourself, kind of thing, right? That's like
Mm-hmm.
I would say how I see it is that that would be the main thing there of a challenge for breadwinners. When it could be like, regardless now that you're carrying the entire basket, right? Uh, as a breadwinner, is that if you might be having trouble now carrying that bread basket of yours, is
Mm-hmm.
that nobody gonna be there to help you, right? Of course, this is not like an 100% kind of speaking on an end note, but it could be, say, like pretty much the norm out there, right? For a lot of people experiencing being like all the hopes and dreams of other people are, pinned on you. So you can't, you can't say, quote unquote, you can't be weak, you can't be sick, you can't miss out on a day on all of these things that you're
Mm-hmm.
dealing with, right? Like what you shared a while ago, pretty much your close friend, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
90% of pretty much what he does in his life, what he decides upon, 90% of it is like influenced, and also including always like, how about for these other people that are depending on me, that are, say, I am supporting, right? That I am carrying. Yeah. These are like the challenges there. How about you guys? How do you feel about it, right? The challenges of being a breadwinner, right? Or maybe the challenges of your friend that you got to hear, right, as they're carrying things. Would it be something like that as a whole, right? As a general view, right? Mariachi here getting to share. Oh, let's bring that up once again. There we go. Being a breadwinner is not a bad thing. It only becomes unlikely when being a breadwinner resonates to being an insurance, a common Filipino mentality where some parents think of their children as insurances. Yeah, yeah, I got to see a
Mm-hmm.
lot of stuff like this out there too, right? And I would say, like what Mariachi shared here, would you agree, Jade, that despite that, it has, or the breadwinner, what they call this term, right? The breadwinner label, the breadwinner, how to put it, that cape, that mantle of a breadwinner, right? When you take on it, it's not entirely about, say, just the negative stuff, right, per
Mm-hmm.
se, but it also connotates to like a lot of very good things. Like, just like what you
Yeah.
mentioned a while ago,
Yeah.
that it's like a double-edged sword, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, how to wield this double-edged sword, right? What do you think about that, right? Because even though there are challenges out there, right? How about you guys? What do you think about this as well? Even though that there are challenges out there, of course, as we know, right? Number one, life is not perfect. Number two,
Mm-hmm.
nothing is perfect in life. And ultimately, number three, the most important thing as we grow up is that to not be, say, stifled just by the challenges itself. Because there are many challenges, right? Ever since we are young, typing, yeah, not typing, writing ABC, we find challenges. But ultimately, we don't stop, right? We find ways around, we outgrow things, and more importantly, we better things. Now, for you guys there, knowing various challenges when it comes to, say, the breadwinner field, what do you guys think would be, say, excellent, how to put it, excellent insights, right? Or thoughts or ideas wherein like, okay, so there's like a lot of things that can happen, a fine line there in the breadwinning field, that it could go all the way south. For one, it could go all the way to
Mm-hmm.
the drain, right? Or it could be like, say, something that could flourish as well, right? What would you guys say like could be excellent things that, if for the people that would view this, today or in the future, right? That when they get to see your shared thoughts, your shared insights, your shared comments, right? That when they are, tackling these things as a breadwinner, that they can take in what you say, right? What you share, so that they can better, their life as a breadwinner, and not only tied up to just the individual, but ultimately to those that they are supporting as well, because it's like a dynamic as a whole, right? If you are doing one thing, right? This reminds me of the what they call this of a story that was like taken as an analogy to the what they call this a story in the Bible, right? When Christ multiplied fish and bread, and basically the analogy is like, It's okay, yeah, give fish, sure, but don't give fish all the time. Teach them how to
Mm-hmm.
fish
Yeah.
as well, right? Because this it's the same thing. You are supporting, but it's a different kind of support, right? And not only just for say a moment, or say for a protracted amount of time, but may it be that you are say, okay, come a time maybe now I lost my job or so, like what you said a
Mm-hmm.
while ago, or maybe I cannot support, maybe I'm needing to say heal myself or recuperate myself, right? No problem, because now you know how to fish, right? What are your thoughts about that, guys? Like, what would be say an aha moment that you would share to say other people out there, to the other viewers we have here, our listeners around the world, and for those future people that would come across your comments in our podcast today, right? How could they better things as a breadwinner, that it's not only the path of like, if I'm a breadwinner, I'm gonna be say burnt out like a candle in the wind kind of thing, right? Because certainly there are better ways out there, and say can flourish things as well, right? And for you,
Mm-hmm.
Jade, right, the importance of self-care and setting boundaries. Given that your
Yeah.
close friend out there, right, was experiencing pretty much a lot of profound things when it comes to this, right? What are some, if you would like to share, right? What could have been some of these, say, conversations that you guys have had
Mm-hmm.
regarding this?
Yeah. Actually, I'm thinking about it because it's kind of a long time ago. But yeah, as I've said earlier, what changed his life, the quality of life does he have, is when he started drawing or learning how to build boundaries and limitations based on I think on his limits, knowing his limits, what he can and cannot provide, because of course he cannot provide all the time, right? So um yeah. So I think, yeah, first of all, the importance of self-care, of course. Um it is currently in our I think wait, let me think. Currently in our like era, or in our generation, actually we give a lot of importance to our mental health, right? And if we didn't learn how to set boundaries, and to acknowledge that we needed also the acknowledgement, I mean the appreciation and the self-care that we deserve, of course our mental health will take a hit. And when that happens, of course, more likely we will do poor at work, and of course it will impact our ability to provide, right? So yeah, I'll gonna read your comment here. Yeah, so let's start with um yeah, Rachel. Actually, I saw this earlier, right? Rachel Espanola. Yeah, of course, even though we experience, or we encounter kind of the same thing as a breadwinner, but of course not all the time. We all have different experiences, and of course our family is is of course different. They're not the same. So um there are a lot of situation that is what we can say is I think I don't want to say it directly, but I think there are some situation that we might be forced to not really cut off, but we have to distance ourselves from them. But of course, don't cut off, because whatever happens, they are still our family. But we have to learn how to distance ourselves when the time comes, right? And actually, I no, not personally. I didn't personally experience this, but of course, another friend of mine, not that the same friend. Um, I heard that um even though he's actually providing a lot, or he's the sole breadwinner of the family, he didn't get all the appreciation or the do you call this the thankfulness that his family should give him, or at least acknowledge his sacrifices. And what he did is actually to distance himself, right? But not totally, not to provide. He's still providing, but he's not um, interacting too much. Because, guys, if we made a mistake, I think if we made a mistake of over providing in one part of our in one time in our life, the solution is to let them experience it on their own, right? To let them experience hardship, because if they didn't experience hardship, that they didn't know that they have to take the responsibility for themselves, right? They will always rely on you. So it is better that we distance ourselves. There will come a time that we will distance ourselves, but not to say to cut off completely, because yeah, like what I've said, whatever happens, they are still our family, and we know we should know that the right thing to do is, of course, as a family, is to help each other, right? But yeah, still it will always come down to um learning how to what do you call this, like what Jack said, the double edged sword that he said earlier. It will come down to learning how to properly wield it, right? So not too much, because anything that is too much is actually bad, right? So yeah, I think that's my piece on it.
Yeah. Totally agree with a lot of things there. Starting with that, don't burn bridges per se, right?
Mm-hmm.
Keep your distance if needed be, but don't burn bridges completely. Unless maybe, like it's like totally an evil thing, cut off from all totally evil things, right? But of
Mm-hmm.
course, you got to know your definition of evil, as real as can be. And second, we got to take things as truthfully as possible as well, right? A mix maybe of factual things and emotional things at the same time. And from there, right, say, the truth will set you free. And we got to face these things in life, and ultimately the realizations that are, say, as real as can be, right, based on the situation, based on the things, right, that we are experiencing in the very specific and the very unique, setups that we have in our family. The earlier the better, because everybody will grow, right? And at the same time, what they call this, you got to mention as well, right? Too much of things will be bad, right? That
Mm-hmm.
reminded me of something that I used to say back then. Anything too much, even of a good thing,
Yeah.
right? I think except the Bible, anything too much of a good thing can be bad indeed, because it could
Mm-hmm.
be like the fishing thing, right? You give too much fish one time too much, they might never learn how to fish anymore, right? Or being a breadwinner, right? You give bread one time too much, they might not really learn how to make their own bread as well later on, right? And that could be a dangerous thing. So basically, when it comes to all of these things, and with all of the comments I get to see here, right,
Yeah.
from our what they call this, from our listeners and our viewers here, is that I would say my personal take on this is number one, right, stemming from the mind that if we want to help, so be it, help, right? Do
Mm-hmm.
not think of anything in return, because personally for me, if it's like that, if there's like a quote unquote hidden motive, right, and we must check the motives of our hearts all the time. If we are to help and expecting anything in return, that is like a transaction, guys, right? It's like a
Yeah.
business transaction, guys, in the word help. If you want to help, by all means do help, right? But do
Mm-hmm.
not expect anything in return. May you talk to me, may you commend me, or may you do whatever. I do it because I wanted to help, and that's it. My reward does not come from you. It will come from the Lord. That's why I'm not able to expect anything at all from you guys.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, now when it comes to like how to put it, like helping them grow, right? What they call this, maybe say through hardships or say adventure kind of an experience, most definitely. And I would say sometimes the best way to help others is by not helping them at all. I would say that, the
Yeah.
best way to help others is by not helping them at all. Like, children, right? Children, for example, if you have, for parents out there, right? Cheers to parents out there. Your children back then, when they were very young as babies, right? They could not walk on their own. They're just crawling, on their hands and on their knees. And ultimately came the time that you got to practice walking, something like that, right? And they try standing, for the first time, and they're wobbly wobbly, and they tumble, forward or backwards, and then they cry, right? They cry. And of
Mhm.
course, like, for parents out there, like, gosh, oh, I want to pick them up, kind of thing. Don't cry anymore, right? But what do we do, right? Sometimes helping or not helping is actually the best help you can give. It's not that you're
Yeah.
not there, it's not that you abandon them per se, but you are there at that distance, and you're observing them till the time comes, like, okay, now they can stand up on their own. Now
Mhm.
they can walk on their own two legs, right? Because you say, put them in a situation, you put everybody, including yourself, in a situation that I'm not going to be quote unquote spoon feeding you so that you will not become weak, but rather you'll become to grow, or you'll be able to grow, right? To be able to support yourself. And now it becomes like how to put it, an amplified dynamic that I can stand on my own. And since I am more, say, how to put it, I am more quote unquote capable to support you, I will help you too. But at the same time, you are not totally helpless, me being in the picture or not being there in the picture. And I would say that's like one excellent way to go about things when it comes to, say, you know, putting up boundaries, dealing with the challenges out there, right? And at the same time, supporting truly, genuinely, honestly, wholeheartedly, right? That you are, say, taking everything in mind, that not it's not just for like what can they have at the moment, what can I give at the moment, what can they experience for a year maybe, or like maybe 4 years if you're supporting somebody at school, right? But at the same time, how can we develop them, right? As breadwinners, like it or not, you're a leader too. So by all means,
Mhm.
right, go take that, what they call this, go take that responsibility, that powerful responsibility there, that I'm gonna help you grow and help you stand on your own 2 feet as well, right? And whatever, whatever comes, later on, okay, so be it. I just, it's just in my heart that I would want to help you. Anything beyond that, I am just happy for you,
Mhm.
right? And thank you, Lord, for the blessings that you would be giving later on, right? Take it as a whole, right? Personally, for me, I would say it's like that, that we help somebody not just by simply providing them things, but helping them to stand up on their own as well, right? To be able to survive on their own. That later on they can also teach or help somebody as well to have that. Because in life, once again, right, it's not going to be the same pattern all the time. It's not going to be the same, say, a blueprint for each family out there. But we can say, right, regardless of circumstances, regardless of, say, however dynamic is there, one thing is sure, right? We can teach the people around us how to fish, right? We give them fish, and we can teach them how to fish at the same time, right? And anything in between that is happening there, just commit it to the Lord. That's it, right? I help with what I can help with to the best that I can, with my motives just to help, really. And that's it, right? Lord, please flourish everything. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I remember, Jack. That's also what I believe. Of course, helping without thinking of anything in return from them. Actually, guys, if you started having this mindset, it will it will it will feel refreshing. It will feel free because you want think negative of other people, like you're expecting something from them once you help, and they didn't help you back when you're in need. And that negativity will build up on you, and without expecting anything from them, you will not build that negativity, and of course you will feel more free to do things that you really like, right? If you really like helping, just do it, and of course, all the blessings will always come from the Lord. So yeah, and I think another thing that I wanna share here is what Nelin said. Of course, we also need we also need um to give ourselves some love, of course. We are burdened with a lot of things and a lot of responsibility, and I think, Jack, right, we are doing this year, right, celebrating
Yeah,
our wins, our achievements, and it helps, yeah, maintain motivation and self-worth. Of course, if we are always celebrating our small wins, no matter how small or big our wins every day, of course, it will greatly help us of, um, feel good about ourselves that we're doing great, and of course, build the positivity um, throughout the day, of course. So yeah, what can you add about that, Jack?
yeah. So it's like, in general, in life, basically, it's, literally, life is full of things and a lot of amazing things at that, right? It's not
Mhm.
sunshine and rainbows all the time,
Yep.
but there's a lot of amazing things there. And the question is like, how can I enjoy life more? Maybe that I am a breadwinner,
Mhm.
or I am doing other things of like, maybe maybe one of our listeners here, some of our viewers here are actually like, say, helping institutions, helping what they call this I forgot the term, a place where like children without parents are in, right? These kind of supporting activities out there that are like, beyond just the family and supporting their family too. How can one enjoy the life more, right? How can an individual enjoy the life more is by knowing and having strategies in life,
Mhm.
because everything in life there can be strategies for it, right? We cannot be just like, how to put it, like, if I go to this field in life, right, it's gonna be like so hard, it's gonna be disastrous, it's gonna be so heavy. Not really, we know it's not like that. But we must go beyond just the word, right? We must go beyond the word. We must go beyond the experiences. We must say, not be scared to fail forward, at the same time to
Mhm.
model after success, right? To know what not to do, but at the same time to know what to do, how other people are successfully doing things, to be enjoying their life and helping other people at that. That's why there are other people there that are called philanthropists. And it's not limited to just like, these are very rich people. No, not really, right? But other people that truly give, right, from their side, without say
Mhm.
anything in return. You must have, say, strategies, right, in life to be able to enjoy this. And that, brings me back to what we were talking about earlier. We're in one of the best ways to go about, say, okay, if I were to give others, right, I must say help them grow at the same time, not just to spoon feed them, and do not have, say, to have a very clear motive in my heart, or motives that it will not, say, bite me, like, because I didn't know that I was expecting myself too. That's why I was like
Mhm.
getting hurt, right? But if I just give, I'm fine. All my joy is there, right? Regardless what happens, I give, right? I help you grow in all honesty. One good thing to remember there as well that will help you on your side, the breadwinner, right, is to think about this line: you must do things very properly. You must do things very properly. Now, what do I mean about that? Properly means you must properly put in mind, put in heart how to take care of yourself as well. Meaning to say, if I want to properly help other people out there, I must take proper care of my health as well. I must take proper care of my finances as well. I must take proper care of what? My endeavors and the things that I have right now. I must take proper, say, forecasting of my future, the months to be, right? A lot of people out there would get burnt out because of, like, say, they want to give pretty much everything. And like, my gosh, this is like kudos to you guys, especially to parents out there, giving everything to your loved ones, to your children, right? But if you want to do it properly, really, you must do it in a way that you're not going to be burnt out after 6 months, not
Mhm.
just after 1 year, not just after 20, 30 years, not just when you're 50 years old. You must do it properly in a way that you could say, like, this is something that I would enjoy in a lifetime, because the memories that you will have with your families, it's not just for like 30 days. It's not just for 3 years, right? There's more beyond that. So keep in mind, do things properly on the facet of like when you are giving, and at the same time when you are taking care of yourself too, as you are taking care of others out there, right? It must be a balance. In life, it's some people say like, it's really hard to balance. I agree. I agree. It's very hard. But if you do things properly, and once again, it's like how to put it? It's like a template, right? A strategy in life. If you are doing things specifically that you take care of yourself, you build yourself up to, and you help others, you teach others how to fish, you will have a result from your strategies that will become, say, empowering and sustaining you as well, right? Because maybe that you are, doing a lot of great things right now, and it might be like, say, burning you out and beating you up even, and it is not a random thing per se, but rather it could be like the strategies that you are currently applying in life, right, is not working. And that's a good news because it means that as it is a strategy, you can change it, right? And when you change it with all the great things that you have in mind and in heart, now you can have a very different result for yourself and also for the people that you are supporting. There are a lot of amazing things in life, and one of the great joys in life, most certainly, is being able to say help and build other people up. And beyond just say like providing things, once again, there are a lot of profound things that we will all get to learn as we say become more, how to put it, become more mature, right? Become more mature, gain more wisdom, gain more knowledge, that even if we are like, who knows, like a 70 years old from now, or maybe a century passes by, the things that you get to teach and share, right, to other people out there, to your children, to your grandchildren, and maybe the world don't remember us anymore, right? But they would remember the things that you shared to them, right? Your learnings, your personal growth. And that reminded me of one thing, like how to put it, I got to share in our community, right? In a Wednesday leadership call, that generational wealth is not limited to, after, how to put it, it's not limited to just, the money that you can give. Like literally, all the real estate properties or the homes and the businesses, what they call this, the trust funds and whatnot. It's not limited to that. But better than that is like the wisdom that you can give to others.
Mhm.
So try to define as clear as possible what is properly for you, right? For that amazing life that you're picturing, that amazing life that you think you deserve and that the people you help deserves, and move forward, build strategies towards that and apply that so that you would have a result that is like, say, okay, the world ain't perfect, nobody immune to the hits of life, right? It's always like ups and downs, but it's going up nonetheless because of growth. But nonetheless, you're having, say, joy, right? You're having more joy, you're having more peace, you're having, say, an adventure in life, and you are not, say, going down the drain pretty much all the time, that you're just like, I'm always burnt out. Change the strategy.
Mhm.
And there are so many strategies out there that you can apply. And once again, shout out and cheers to all the breadwinners out there, because this is a very noble thing to do, because not everybody would want to do that, right? And mark my words, right? You have blessings from the Lord. Just anchor it in Him. Help if you want to help, carry if you want to carry. Ask the Lord for wisdom, guidance, and counsel. Build excellent strategies and live an amazing life. Because ultimately, right, may it be that we are currently in whatever situation we are right now, and maybe you wake up tomorrow that you are like, a billionaire, right? One of the best things that you would want to do in life is to help other people as well, right? You have all the money, you have all the things out there. If you're not like, say, putting it into use kind of thing, or helping other people, it's gonna feel empty. So one way or another, it's like, one of the best things in life is to really give back, right? Is to really give back, is to really help. Only like, okay, how can I, what kind of strategies, right, would I employ, with these activities? so that I can truly enjoy as well. And at the same time, I get to help a lot of people out there. And before we powerfully wrap up things here, people, for our breadwinners out there, um, anything else that you would want to share, Jade, to our listeners, our viewers, and to, the future breadwinners that would come across our topic for today?
Yeah, I think one thing that I can say is that, yeah, as Jack said, you're doing you're doing great, because not a lot of people will actually do it, even though a lot of people will be forced to do it, but they will just run away from it because they cannot handle the pressure and everything. And you guys just happen to choose to stand your ground and take up all the responsibilities. And I think, guys, you're really great. And of course, the blessing of the Lord will be on you. So yeah, I think that's all I can say, Jack. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for being with us, interacting with us, of course, giving your experiences, guys. Thank you so much. So yeah.
Yeah. And one last thing that I would want to share to everybody there are many profound things in life. And there are many profound things that you already know, all of you out there, that you already know and that you got to experience and to remember, right? There are also many things in life out there that we need to unlock. So
Mm,
whenever you're experiencing something, you are, say, bringing yourself into something, and if it seems like very simple, like this is something that burns me out, or this is something that like totally energizes me, right? And sometimes it might be like, yeah, this is just burning me out. This sucks. Pardon for the word, but this experience, this sucks like that. Just remember, there might be a lot more to it than what
mm-hmm.
meets the eye, right?
Yeah,
So
I
may it be
agree.
like helping other people there. May it be that you want to be like a philanthropist one day or another, or may it be that very noble act that you want to help your family members or people outside of your family, even, right? Whatever it might be, go dive into it and learn the profoundness of things and try and strive to do things properly, right? Remember, properly means including of taking care for yourself, not just for the moment, not just for the months and years to arrive, but for a long time, right? So that you get to enjoy more. And of course, you get to help more people in your life. And as always, onwards to the truly proper and enriching and blessed things in life, people. Don't let your light be consumed by the negativities and darkness of the world. Employ empowering strategies to change your life powerfully to that and amazing life that you truly deserve, right? That thing that you're focusing on, that you're working towards to. And having that said, people, once again, we love, all the comments that you got to share there, all the things that you have got to discuss as well. And once again, kudos to you guys, for being breadwinners onwards with the truly noble things in life as well. And more power to you guys. Looking forward to see you guys by next week. So don't forget to hit like and subscribe. It's somewhere here in our channel. Go Super VA, right? Follow us, and by all means, you may forward like topics you would want us to share to you guys to talk
Mm-hmm.
with, you guys every week. And we're going to be always here for you, delivering amazing stuff every now and then. See you guys when we see you. Bye bye.
Bye bye, guys. Thank you.